We just go? Okay. Hello. Welcome. I'm super excited to be able to be a part of this panel, helping and learning from this distinguished group. Just a quick introduction of myself. My name is Pearl Chu. I work for SLB, formerly known as Schlumberger. Lots of you know about Schlumberger. We're big in Houston. And I'm the director of our technical domains and university relations. Been with the company over 30 years. It's fantastic. Last few years, I've gotten much more involved in the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce, and this year I am currently the chair of the board. And it's been a fantastic opportunity to connect and meet other amazing women that are lifting, elevating, empowering themselves in terms of their careers and driving business growth. And today, our panel, I'm going to just let each of us, our distinguished panel of leaders, they'll be able to share their strategies for business growth. And I'm just going to let y'all go down the line and introduce yourselves, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Miguel Ruiz. I'm with that little federal agency called the Small Business Administration. And what Congress asks us in the SBA to do is to help businesses, small businesses, right, entrepreneurs like you, to start, maintain, and hopefully to grow your business. And we do that through a variety of different means. Consultation, we have in place a network of consulting entities. Capital, we have in place a system of those financial providers that are incentivized to utilize our programs in order to do one more loan, one more investment, whatever it may be. We have contracting, which is my specific area that I cover right now, in helping businesses to do government contracting, specifically at the federal level for us. And then lastly, crisis. When it hits a hurricane, flood, tornado, whatever it may be, your business, hopefully we've helped you to prepare for those instances and to go ahead and be, all right, let's get this recovery on the way to get back to what we were doing beforehand. I'm in my 31st year, and I'm second generation. I was explaining that. So I don't know any better when I respond, so that's what I am. Hi.
Wonderful. Brandi.
Yes. I'm
You're up
loving
next.
looking around this room, especially as a fellow woman business owner. It's amazing to see everybody here learning and growing. Thank you, Pearl. My name is Brandi Harleaux. I am the CEO and second generation owner of South Post Oak Recycling Center. We are a metal recycling center headquartered here in Houston, but servicing nationally. We work with, I tell people all the time, we pay cash for what people think is trash. What does that mean? We recycle metal. We recycle anything from aluminum, brass, copper, stainless steel. And then we pay people for the value of that because it's a recyclable commodity. And then we work with mills and foundries that melt it down and make new material. So we're a direct link in the manufacturing supply chain. Our customers, or the people that we serve, really want someone that they can trust and can be transparent to recycle their material. And that's anything from obsolete parts in the oil and gas industry to parts and valves in manufacturing, to gutters off of our homes, to HVAC units. So if it's metal, we handle it. I mentioned already I'm a different second generation, but my parents started the business 30 years ago, actually almost 30 years. We'll be celebrating 30 years in business next year, which we're excited about and looking forward to. I tell people all the time I'm building on the backs of those who have come before me. And there's many people's backs who we're building on. Our clients or our customers span several segments, and I think many of you have different segments. Yes, we service households like each of us, where we're recycling cans or AC units from your house. But our largest growth area and a part of our diversification is business to business. So it is oil and gas, it is utility, it is fabrication, and it is manufacturing. And so it's been important for us to be really clear on who we service and link that to people's sustainability goals. We also service the government sector. So we service B2G, think TxDOT. Think people who are generating metal, think of the signs that are on the freeway. So I'm wearing a couple of different hats. I also serve, and I have the honor of serving on the City of Houston Office of Business Opportunity Board. And so I wear the hat of a business owner up here today, but also as the chair of the City of Houston's advisory board. And we'll talk a little bit more about what they do, but the City of Houston Office of Business Opportunity is a certifying agency. I know that came up earlier. People were asking who were the different certifying agencies. OBO is, and their focus is on certification, it's on compliance, it's on business development, and it's on access to opportunities. So through the course of today, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I am so honored and privileged to be here. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, Brandi. All right, my name is Roger Pombrel, and I'm with Emerald Standard Services, Electrical Contractors and Engineers. You may be looking, if you look at your programs, my face is not on it. Brandi was mentioning that Marsha Murray, Director of the Office of Business Opportunity for the City of Houston, was on the program. Brandi is our chair, and I'm the humble vice chair. Okay, and as such, your job, if you don't know, your job as a vice chair is to be ready whenever the director and the board chair, need your service. That's that, and I love it. I just, thoroughly enjoy working alongside Director Murray and our fearless, chairwoman, Brandi Harleaux. So thank you all for the opportunity. I am a small business. I am also second generation electrician in my case, electrical contractors. I'm also a product of many of the SBA programs. I'm certified. I was mentioning to Miguel that our firm was certified 8A, which is an SBA program that has existed since the 50s, I believe you were telling me, Miguel. We don't go back that long, but we participated in the SBA 8A program from 2006 through 2015 as a commercial electrical contractor. That gave us a lot of opportunities to work as a prime, but currently our main engagement is a second tier, I'm the electrician on the job, right? Building a facility such as this, a lot of commercial work. So I do engage with a lot of prime contractors, right? The whole contracts with the facility owners, be it private or public. Do plenty of public work. I'm very much involved with transportation, that being airport, metro, healthcare, Texas Medical Center, both the public side, UT Health, MD Anderson, or private such as HCA, Methodist, et cetera, Memorial Hermann. And our last third of our market is higher education. So also get involved with a lot of University of Houston, TSU, Houston Community College, and the like. And the remaining 10% is whatever random strange project comes along, like a prison or a military base. The stranger, the more, I tend to be, gravitate towards it. There's always great opportunities with, the unusual projects. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Honestly, we have a fantastic panel. If you think about what they just said about their background, their experience, their roles, the goal of today is to really give y'all some great practical tips of actionable things that you can take away today and start working on tomorrow. So we're going to start off with Brandi and Roger because they both serve on the Office of Business Opportunity Board, as we just said, Brandi being the chair, Roger being the vice chair. How high can we go? I think it would be good to start off with giving some opportunities that the OBO offers to small businesses, again, specifically so they can take away and see what they use with that, yeah?
Absolutely. Pearl, so a couple, and I'll just piggyback up on where I heard the conversation going in the last panel. There are several business development programs that the City of Houston OBO offers, one of which is called Business Beyond Borders. One of the last questions that came up was, how do I expand into international markets, or how do I get access to international markets? And I didn't want to invade that conversation, but I did want to tell you guys, I'd encourage you to get on the City of Houston OBO email distribution list, follow them on their social sites. Those are some of the best ways that you can be informed of the opportunities and the resources that are out there. The second thing that the OBO does is list opportunities that are across city and state agencies. And so they serve as a kind of not only a collaborator, but they consolidate, aggregate, curate opportunities that may or may not fit what you're doing. The third, it's come up, is that they function as a certifying body. And one of the benefits of going through the OBO, the City of Houston OBO, is that certification and that designation can then be parlayed with the Port of Houston with Metro. So there are a lot of cross-sector and cross-entity collaborations. And then something else is they do business advisory services. So if you're just like, how do I get started? You know, how do I get access to banking? How do I get certified? How do I get set up? Those are all resources that are at your fingertips. But the best thing to do is sign up for the emails and get on the socials.
Roger, do you want to add something? Maybe because you've lived through what the certification has done for you, why don't you tell our audience what is the benefit of getting that certification?
Yes, absolutely. Like Brandi was saying, so the city is a certifying agency. It's very much a one-stop shop. It used to be, like I said, when I first applied in 2004, I still have the big stack of paper, my original application. Well, that's not the case anymore. It's all online. Not only that, but the renewal process is very seamless now because it takes the old information, you just update it and you roll with it. Additionally, like I said, FBA, City of Houston, they certify for the state of Texas. So you can additional requirements that the state has. You check those boxes, provide additional documentation, you can become HUB certified. And also DBE certified for federal work and disadvantaged business enterprise. City of Houston is part of the TUCP, Texas Unifying Certifying Program, I think. And then you can also get DBE. And right now I can tell you, because I'm getting all the emails, there's tons of federal money that is flowing through the state, through the airport, through Metro, et cetera, and they require DBE. In DBE, there's some additional, net worth requirements that, you need to meet as an individual. And, but the city, like I said, reach out to the city, to OBO. They'll explain everything crystal clear. I've kind of been there. I can share my experiences. Always happy to do it. But that's part of the reason why I'm on the advisory board is, be able to connect you guys with all those, services.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Miguel, you're up. You ready?
I am.
Okay, good.
Let's go for it.
Okay, we all know one of the biggest challenges for small business owners is to get access to capital. And so I'm sure you can share some strategies from your perspective on how they can prepare for an SBA loan or, the best way to go at it.
What a great question to start with. So there are only two sources for money in this world. Your pockets or somebody else's, okay? Now, once you go through your pockets, and like when the kids hit me in the morning, I'm done for the day, okay? But I got to go to somebody else, and that could be from family, friends. It can be from, investors. It can be from lending institutions, right? Financial institutions, well, let's call them banks. That's what they are, right? Okay, so the key aspect of this is that SBA is, Congress wants us to be like the guide, or kind of more or less the traffic cop. We're trying to direct you in the direction you need to go. Right? And we'll suggest that you pick up a guide along the way, right? So there are resources that are out there, the Women's Business Center that the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce has, the SCORE, SBDC, the VBOC, the Visitors Business Opportunity Center that's out, there's a resource table there. These are all our components that we sponsor, okay? They can help you to put together what you need for the investor or the bank, okay? And if you tell them, I have a bank in mind, and people always ask me, says, Miguel, can you tell us which bank? No, I am precluded from telling you which bank. However, I turn it around and you're going, well, where do you do your banking? Where do you have your business account? Because now you've given me an answer I can now respond on, okay? So that's the key on that. When you're dealing with someone like a government officials, you may need to change the question to get the answer. Because they're usually going to be sitting there, you can tell, I'm chomping at the bit to tell you the answer, but I need you to prompt me for it, so because I can't be told that I'm telling you to do this or that, okay? So, SBDC, SCORE, so they can help get your package together. Now, what's the package? Some people call it a business plan, okay? Remember that the banker that's looking at this, whether it be your loan officer or the underwriters, their business is not how to run your business. No, their business is to assess the risk involved that you know how to run your business. So there's the first thing. You got to know your business, all right? Be prepared. Understand the numbers. If you're not a numbers person, that's okay, all right? Don't be afraid of it. But you should know at least a little bit about that so you can sit there at least and understand here's the ratios and why it's important for you. And it's helpful to help you run your business more effectively as well. So leverage what's out there. Leverage the resource partners. Engage them. Most of what we ever do is free, okay? If there's any training involved, it's either free or it's subsidized. Take them. Many of them are on demand, midnight, in your PJs, at the dinner table. Come on now. There's no real excuse not to be able to take these classes. There are several dozens that the SBDC has. SCORE has webinars. They all, everything's gone to webinars since COVID. So you have both in-person and live webinars and also on-demand webinars. Make yourself available. Talk to your lending institution. Get them involved early, okay? And as I said, start with who already does business with you, whether you have your business account, your mortgage, your bike loan, car loan, whatever it may be. You're on their radar. You're in a relationship with that lender. And it's incumbent upon them to try to help you out to keep your business and keep the money flowing through them. All right? So those are the first couple things that I would think of trying to go after. And then SBA loans, understand, it's a small business loan. They are choosing to use my programs, and the bank has to adhere to them. So there are certain criteria they have to do. Go to a lender that uses my programs day in, day out. 23 years ago, I formulated a group that has all the local lenders that use my program in it, automatically. They have no excuse. They put their contact information. It's called Haggle. Why? Because I couldn't call it haggle. That's a lending joke, sorry. HAGGL.com. Find your lender on there. And if it's not the same person that's listed as the contact, ask your relationship manager, whatever they're calling themselves this day, to get you in contact with them. Because that's who their bank wants to handle their small business loans. Okay? And then, of course, name drop. What's my name? Miguel. Where am I at? From where? SBA.
Well done.
So, and of course, I always say, with knowledge becomes a lot of responsibility. That's Spider-Man, right? So be careful when you're dropping in my name with lenders, because they'll either shut up, because last time they met me, I was the boogeyman, or they'll start laughing, okay? So hopefully that's the way it goes. But again, that way that they'll understand that I, at least they're gonna be cautious and go, I better do this the right way, because it might be Miguel that comes to visit me, okay? That's just the reality of the situation there, okay? But use it to your advantage there. Hey, I listen to Miguel. They go, yeah, we have to as well. So, again, that's how that goes there. Please be prepared, but know your business, all right? Know business and know how to defend your business as somebody else, because that's what has to lay out. That package that you have to come up with, that you've now got help from the resource partners, looks better so it can stand on its own, because you're not going to be able to be in front of the underwriters. You're not going to be able to in front of the loan committee, okay, to defend what you have. You need something on paper to be able to do that for you.
Thank you so much. I'm learning along with y'all. I'm not small business owner experienced whatsoever, just to let you know. And the amazing amount of resources that I'm hearing about it's there for you. And all of these things are just for your taking. Got to get out there and find it and see what works for you and just go after it. So just to give a little highlight, Brandi on our panel, she was named the 2023 Small Business Person of the Year for the state of Texas. Pretty darn amazing. So I think she can probably give us some great strategies and ideas of what really contributed to get you to this level. Amazing. Congratulations.
I wish I had a true blueprint, and I think a lot of us can look around and say that there are blessings or there's energy in life that just happens at time. And I genuinely can say that it was not on my list of things to achieve to be an SBA small business, but it's definitely, it's a blessing and it's an honor. And as I think about it, it probably consists of several things that you all are seeing. A couple of things. I think some of it, what I will say is, my dad built this business saying that he could feed his family on buying aluminum cans alone. And that was 30 years ago. And I'll tell you, South Post Oak Recycling Center is doing a lot more than just recycling and buying aluminum cans. And I think that there's a lot that's gone into it. I stepped in to take over the business about 10 years ago. I spent about 15 years in corporate America in organizational development and strategy, and I think some of that has aided in our growth and our trajectory. I was last with the Walt Disney Company, so I tell people I went from pixie dust to real dust, and I have not looked back. But I think that there are several things, you know. My parents had a vision, and as a second generation, I took some of that, and then I elevated our vision, and I think he would be okay saying that. I think something else could have contributed. I think it's that building the right team of people around you is absolutely critical. I have no interest in being the smartest person in the room that I'm at, even in my business. I don't care that I wear the title as CEO. I do not need to be the smartest person in the room. I need my operations person to excel and thrive. And so I think something that could have aided it, I believe in taking care of the people who take care of your business. So that's something else. I think it's a philosophy that we have. Something else that could have, I also believe that just as much as having a vision is important, so is executing. So I also believe in under-promising and over-delivering. And so each of the teams under the South Post Oak umbrella knows that service, that is exciting. I want to be out there right now, but I love being in here. That service is absolutely critical, and delivering and anticipating what's around the next bend is also important. A couple of other things that I would say is I think our business mission, and everybody's different, but we are in the recycling, we're in the sustainability space, we're in the environmental space, and I tell people we've been around 30 years, but we were green before green was cool, and so I do think it's a timing thing. I think sometimes what you're doing, it hits a time. You know, when I came into this industry 10 years ago, and I came out of Disney, and corporate social responsibility was hot 10 years ago as I left California. So was the starts of a closed loop. Well, fortunately or not fortunately, that was not the case here in Texas. And we are just starting, I think, to get momentum and value and appreciation around education on recycling, what it really is, what it isn't. And so I think timing, and I think what we do possibly led to it. And while there's many other things, the last thing I'll leave you all with is I'm a big believer that as an entrepreneur and a business owner, your business can be a vehicle to make a difference, to have an impact, and to do good. And so I very much believe in people, planet, and profit. And so part of the people piece is having an impact. We believe in having an impact in the business and the communities that we do business in. And so I think that that's something that the SBA was looking at. We need our top line and our bottom line needs to be solid. And we need to have a growth plan in place, and we need to have a team in place. But I think another question is, once you start doing those things, what are you doing for other people? And you don't have to be at a certain revenue marker, just so you all know, to make a difference. And so those are some of the things, like I said, it's not a fully baked recipe, but if I look at my journey, I just feel that there's a lot of blessings, and those are the threads throughout.
A lot of great life mottos there. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Roger, you have a unique experience associated with, you've been doing business with prime contractors, and I think Houston being so big, it's probably super valuable if you could share how you developed those relationships to weave your business into the complex ecosystem that we have.
Yes, absolutely. So as I was mentioning before, 21 years in business, been, through different cycles in different roles. And then one of the things you got to figure out rather quickly to stay in the market and then grow is find your niche, especially when you're smaller. And I'm telling you, small can be pretty big from what we think, and they're still considered small in the grand scheme of things. Think Fortune 500. But going back to the prime, so I perform mainly as a subcontractor, right? A second-tier contractor and all that, and you always thinking, the glamour is you want to be prime, right? You want to be on top, and yeah, that's the ideal scenario. You want to have a contract with the federal government or some of these owners, but sometimes the way these entities buy your services is through second tier. I'm an electrician, right? So nobody buys, going to put up a new building and buys each trade separately. They go to a prime contractor, to an architect, an engineer, design builder, and all that. So that's kind of my my life, right? So I can't, I'm not here to change the way people buy electrical contracting services. I'm here to sell them, but that being said, you still need to, where you start is you need to understand the owner, okay? So think like a prime. Okay, then sell to the prime, but you need to, what they care about is what their owners care about. So that's and that took a while for me to say, you read the books, right? Who's your ideal customer? We're a GC. Okay, then let me focus on the general contractor mentality and all that. But the reality is, you can do that, but then you're gonna have some exposures. Okay, you gotta be beholden to that GC and that relationship and all that. If you start working, that's what I started doing. From going 5 to 10 years, you still got to start finding the owners on the markets where you want to specialize in. So I mentioned that I'm into metro and the airport. Okay, well that's kind of easy. The city, the airport it's kind of a not a monopoly. They're private, smaller private airports and all that. But the big dollars are in the big airports. So you go to where they are, the universities, so forth and so on, healthcare. So you want to go hang out in the trade associations where the facilities, in my case, that I'm a contractor, the facilities managers for those industries hang out, because then the first thing you're going to find out is who are the GCs that are there, because they're selling, they want to get the next big hospital with these people, and those are the people that you're going to target directly to make them aware. But also you want to start developing the relationship with the facilities managers, with the owner reps, okay? And that gets built also through years. So you want to establish your reputation. Oh, there's Roger, there's Brandi, yes, you want to be in first name basis with a lot of these people that will move around, okay? But typically they'll move around to other owners and other things, and that's how the seeds start getting planted and can carried and all that. And then when you look back 10, 15, 20 years, you have relationships, right? That's why people say, you got to build relationships. They take a while. But that being said, you got to be strategic about the relationship that you're building, okay? So that's a lot of people, I see it both ways. People show up for a networking event, spending 45 minutes, an hour and a half, didn't make any connections, and then move on to the next thing. Or be there because they like certain people, they like, the ambiance, the music, the whatever, the place where but they're not really moving forward. The ball's not being moved forward after, a couple of years or whatever. So be strategic, and what I would recommend, like I said, I'm a contractor, so I'll go a lot of, you got to also, keep up with your trade, with your industry. So yes, I do belong to a lot of contractor associations, in particular, National Association of Minority Contractors. That's near and dear to my heart because I'm a minority and I'm a contractor, and that's the intersection right there. But I also hang out with the bigger contractors. But also look and gravitate, to the other places. Where do the owners live that then I want to sell to these GCs for? And that's why you got to laser focus. So, extrapolate that to whatever services or goods you provide. Like I said, and another way to think about it is that, you sell peanut butter, you got to sell it through a supermarket, but you're selling it to the mom and the kid, and you got to figure out who makes the decision of the peanut butter, where they go and all that. And then, then you fight for your space on the shelf, right, with the supermarket. You haggled over all of that. That's, your prime. But ultimately, you need to understand the mentality of that, whoever's consuming your product, right? And the GCs, the prime, all they want is they give you a contract and they don't need to worry about anything else, that you got it covered. And if you come in speaking the language of the owner, that'll only be an immediate tell for the GC that you got it covered, that you know where you're talking about, that you're going to take care of them. They don't need to worry about you. They need to worry about the next guy, right? And they need to hassle and harass the HVAC guy or the drywall guy. Leave me alone so I can, do my work. Thank you.
It's great to hear understanding the full system and understanding exactly where you fit in it, and then how do you target to your injection into that. Yeah, great. I'm allergic to peanuts, so I can't buy that peanut butter. Sorry about that. Shoot. Miguel, you had mentioned the partnerships, like with the Greater Houston Women's Chamber, SBA, Women's Business Center, and SCORE. Maybe you can share some more opportunities specifically about lending events or things around that.
Sure. So first and foremost, we have a microsite. I think that's the right terminology. I'll have to ask Liz in the back there whether I used it correctly. But if you type in your browser, whatever browser you want to use, SBA Houston, our microsite should pop up. And we have events on there. We have a newsletter you can sign up for so you can get that dropped in, and I believe it's weekly, what's coming up. So we actually have something. Here's a date for you next Wednesday, the 13th, at the Felix Fraga campus of HCC. That's over in the East End, all right? We're having a Meet the Lender. Meet the Lender means that you get to sit in front of a lending institution who's predisposed to small business, because these are small business lenders, SBA lenders, okay? And sit with them, and you submit your information, go on online. Remember I said where to go to? SBA Houston. Go in the events, register for the events, provide some information, and now you can get to go with the lenders that are saying, yes, we want to meet with you, okay? And now you get to be able to prepare for what you're trying to do, your proposal, your package. You don't have to have it ready for it to go, but you at least be able to talk about, hey, here's my plans, what I want to do. Meet the lender. Other events are also listed on there. There are always going to be meetups are on there. There's always a lending institution. There's resource partners that are there. Again, just make yourself available. They're spread around. We have 32 counties. There are events all over. It's always a good place to meet there.
Great, wonderful. Things that resonate with me, I've been given the 5-minute marker. So resonates with me is there's tons of resources. You got to find the team that you trust to build around you and get yourself out there and understand the system. I'm learning a ton listening to this great panel. I'd like to just end it up as we close to give each of you a chance to share what is the one major takeaway, and then we'll take a question. Yes. Shall we take a question now, or do you want to? Let's take a question now.
So the question was, can you be certified for multiple agencies at the same time? The answer is yes. As a business owner, and you guys, I would ask you to look at the partnerships or the access channels that you would get through being certified through those multiple agencies, okay? Just really quickly, because you want to be strategic. I think as a business owner, you can run in many different directions and you can divide your time. If you know that you want to do business at the city level or with city entities, get city certified. You have HMSDC, the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council. You also have the Women's WBE. You can take either angle. You can say, I want to leverage my minority, status, and or I want to leverage my women's status. They're both great. I would tell you guys, because I'm certified by them all, but it's figuring out where you want to focus, okay? And that is the biggest thing that I would tell you is you don't have to go everywhere out the gate. Focus. Say, what do I want to go after? And what of those certifying bodies have access to the people that I want and need to meet?
Excellent. Yes, please go ahead.
So one of the projections for what you're trying to do, the proposal that you're trying to do, and what's going to accomplish for you. So yes, you always want to do as a business owner have your short term, your intermediate term, long term, and those are fluid. It will change with every single day there. So your lender, if you've got a good relationship with your lending partner, and that's what you have to do. It's a lending partner, right? That they're on top of things with you. You're talking to them before you really need them. So they're being able to participate and make sure that they are the ones suggesting, hey, let's work on this line of credit, or hey, let's work on terming out this capital expenditure, okay? So the answer to your question is yes, you want to do that, but you always have, it's three, it's short-term, intermediate, and long-term on your approach.
My quick response to that will be yes and, okay? Yes, you want to have strategic goals. You want to have a plan for your 1 year, your 3 year, your 5 year. I think we all know that we're operating in a rapidly changing environment. And so what you set forth as your 3 to 5 year, if market conditions change or there's no longer demand, you may have to pivot from that. But there's going to be a couple of audiences that you need that plan for. And so Miguel mentioned one. Your lenders is one that is a very targeted audience, and the message is very different. They want to know, do you have a plan? Can you make money? And can you pay me back? That's what they want to know. The second reason that you would need it is to navigate your business, day in and day out. What is our 1-year plan? What are our targets? What are our metrics? What team do I need in place to build so that I can grow where I want to grow? So those are the two things. And the last thing I'd leave you with is how can you do that? So for those of you like, I have no idea where to start, I would just tell you there's a few resources. Miguel mentioned SCORE in the Small Business Development Center, as well as the Greater Houston Women's Chamber. Every resource that's here has advisors on site that can help you build that out. The last plug that I'll give is for the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program. If you're eligible for that, the entire program over 3 months is designed to build out a growth plan for your business. So those are some resources right away, and those are the different ways that you would use your business plan.
Oh, I'm getting a 2-minute warning. Can you do a quick answer, or do we want to go and close out?
There's another, but yeah, Goldman Sachs all the way, baby. I'm a graduate too. I highly recommend it. You develop a growth plan. What I would say is, yes, have your 1 year, 3 to 5 year, even 10 years and beyond, and be prepared to pivot. I mentioned I was second generation. My family spent the 80s and 90s doing industrial work in South America. We came here to the oil and gas capital of the world thinking we're going to do the same. And I got into different lineup. I mean, within 2-3 years, we were doing some other stuff, and I'm happy as a cucumber. Is that what happy as a cucumber? Cucumber's happy?
Cucumber's
I'm
happy?
extremely satisfied and happy, but be prepared. But do write it out, do plan it, and then be ready to be adjusting as things move on.
We're going to start with you. 20 seconds. If you want this audience to remember one thing walking out of here, what would that one thing be? One.
Be strategic on your network.
Okay, Brandi.
Don't do it alone.
Good.
Don't do it alone.
And on that note, leverage the resources that are available to you already. Your taxes go to pay for them.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much. What I love about this is that, guess what? This is win-win-win. It's good for you. It's good for the city. It's good for the people that are supporting you. There's nobody not wanting you to succeed. So y'all go out there and make it happen. Way to be courageous.